Hi again, YouTubers. So this is a review on the Mary Kay Lash Love Mascara. I have this in the color black, and they do have a brown, I believe it is as well. This is what the packaging looks like. Comes in a box like this. Oops, wrong way. The brush you saw on that picture, but let me give you a little bit better of a look. It's a plastic bristled, short bristled brush. You can see how on the bottom edge there you see a piece of mascara catching on it. I'll explain a little bit of my thoughts on that in a little bit. I picked this mascara up, and I want to say it was $14, but I'm not 100% sure. I will put the price below with the link. It's strange because my first thoughts were I really, really like this mascara. It went on very easily. It separated and lengthened very well. But I will say that I have found over the couple weeks of using it that it gets clumpy. The clumps stick to the brush. As I said, I mentioned that whole, you see the clumps on the, you can see them sitting on the outer edges of the bristle, which makes it very difficult. It is a beautiful mascara. However, I then have to go through it with a lash comb, such as this, in order to set, you can see the mascara on the edge of that there, because I have to go through and separate the lashes. They get little clumps on them. If you use too many coats, it gets clumpy. It is a wet mascara. It doesn't transfer horribly, but every once in a while I get a couple little flakes up at the top. I can see some right here right now. This is what it looks like on my lashes. I do think it's pretty. I do think it's nice. It does not flake. I hate mascaras where I get little flakes under my eyes throughout the day. That does not happen with this. I do think it is a very nice product. I think the cost is low on it. My biggest problem being that I hate having to, I should say, I'm going to say I hate ordering it online, but I love ordering things online, but I like ordering it from places like Sephora or Nordstrom's where I can get a whole bunch of different stuff. I don't want to just have to order one company, and that's my problem with ordering it online. My only issues were the little bit of transfer, but the majority of my issue was the clumpiness. How it's so wet, it gets those little clumps all on your lashes and on the brush. I have tried wiping the brush off first. That worked a little bit better, but then I needed a second coat, and then it kind of got clumpy when you started doing a second coat. So it's kind of hard because I love things about this, but I also really dislike a couple things about this too. So it's really kind of a hard take on this one to say one way or another. It depends on what you're looking for. If you like a wet formula, this is definitely going to be for you. If you're used to working with things like that, I do like this style of brush traditionally, but the way this one sits with clumps on the edge, that's my biggest issue with it. So the product overall is nice. It's a middle of the road. It's 3. I do like the packaging. Pigmentation, it's very, very, very black. So it's a good solid 4 out of 5. Texture, it's a nice texture except for the clumps, so I'm only going to give it a 3 there. Longevity, it did last really well. It held the curl well. It stayed on nicely. As I said, it didn't flake. But I'm only going to give it a 4 because it does start to transfer up on the top a little bit, but that's also because of the length of my lashes. Application, this is where I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 because it is not that easy to apply. It is the first couple days to a week, couple weeks after when it starts to get those little clumps, it is difficult to apply to get it exactly how you want it. Packaging is nice. It's nice, easy to grip. It's got a nice wave to it. It's very easy to use. So the packaging is very nice and very user friendly. Price on it, it's very comparable to drugstore price wise. It's just a tad bit over that. Traditionally you can get a drugstore for a little bit less. So it's kind of that medium brand between drugstore and high end. But I do think it's a nice product short of the clumping issue. I wish I could figure out a way to resolve that. And if you guys have any tips, definitely let me know. I think I've tried everything I can think of. So that's just my thoughts on the Mary Kay mascara. It is the Lash Love Mascara in black. And if you have any additional questions, please post them below and let me know. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye.